by far Tesla's best car. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Whether you're a longtime viewer or a new subscriber, I appreciate every single one of you. You can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Now, I am very experienced when it comes to electric vehicles. I got my first electric vehicle 8 years ago with the Chevy Bolt. And then I've had 8 Teslas since then. This is my second Model X, so I'm pretty familiar with EVs and Teslas, and enough to tell you that this is the best one. This is the best Tesla out of all the cars. Now, the Cybertruck is very different. It's a truck, and it's a completely different beast in itself. After 6 months of owning a 2025 Tesla Model X, it estimated around 335 miles fully charged. At 83%, I have 261 miles, and I've driven it 5,000 miles, and I have 324 watt-hours per mile. If you're an electric vehicle owner or plan on being one someday, keep in mind that your car is only as good as its battery. It's the most important and expensive part of any EV. But don't worry, Recurrent has your back. Their team of battery scientists have created free tools to allow you to compare your EV to thousands of others, so its battery, range, and value are more transparent. When it's time to sell, they can even calculate a good battery premium to get you better offers from EV experts. No spammer commitments, just real offers that you can either accept or ignore. Together, we can buy, drive, and sell electric vehicles positively with Recurrent. But when it comes to the Model X, there's certain things about it that really makes it stand out amongst Teslas, makes it stand out amongst other EVs out there. And it's just something very special about this car. Now, again, it's my second one. The first one was a 2020, much older model. A lot of things were different. And I've talked to you about getting a used Model X in previous videos. And honestly, if you do, I recommend you getting one of the refreshed models, a 22 or a 23, just because of the hardware is much more, it's more modern, which means you get more software updates, less things are falling apart. The build quality of this is much better, and they really thought about what they want to do moving forward with the Model X. Now, some people might say, if you're going to don't even get a used one, you need to go move forward and wait for the refreshed 2026 Model X's that just came out. And I'm kind of against that too. I mean, yes, if you're in a market right now to get a new one, it does have some updates, and there are more incentives, like you get a front camera, right? You have the interior lighting. Those are all cool things too, but they are more expensive. But they do offer unlimited supercharging and different things like that. But I'm going to tell you, I've had this Model X for 6 months, and I don't regret the time I got it. I don't regret waiting. Yeah, you can always wait, because if you don't buy a Cybertruck now, if you don't buy a Model 3 right now, if you don't buy a Model Y right now, you wait, there's going to be a better one that comes out. But then if you buy that one, there's going to be another better one that comes out. So you could be always waiting, right? Or you can live in a moment, and if you need a vehicle now, I mean, this video is not for everybody, but it is for you, right? You're looking at getting a Model X. This 2025 just nailed it, because it has the hardware for it we'll talk about in a minute. But overall, I did compare a used Model X to a new Model Y, and I think for 90% of people, they might want to get that Model Y because it has the, the newest hardware, the new exterior, the future of Tesla. But it's not as premium, right? It's not as luxurious. It does not have the air suspension. The coil system in a Model Y is very nice and very refined and comfortable, but you have an air suspension here. And with that air suspension, you can raise and lower your suspension, which comes in very handy. And let's say you're pulling into a driveway that's higher, you could always come over and change your ride height and raise it up so that now you're gonna clear it. And they even have a very high setting if you need that. And just to be safe, I always go very high. But look at that. And then it will remember your location, and it will raise automatically, which is cool. So you never have to worry about doing that again. And again, look at this. We have these nice hardware 4 cameras. And look, let me bring it up. I do have a hardware 3 loaner at the house right now, and the cameras make a big difference in hardware 4. So I think if you can get a hardware 4, that's where you want to get. 6 months later, look at this. New updates. This is the absolute best place to have a blind spot monitor right in front of you. And speaking of right in front of you, the 2 screen setup is ideal. I know everything can fit on here. I know that, right? But the thing is, I love having all my driving information here. So my visualization, I love having my time, my gear, the temperature, and the range all in front of me. That way I have way more real estate for maps and other things here. And I know everything can fit on this screen, but why clutter everything? I have so much space now. And also, you know, this screen, the huge 17-inch screen, has certain features like you can power control, center that display, move it to the right. Look at that, right? And I don't know. I know they have aftermarket things that you could put in your 3 or Y or Cybertruck, but that, again, is a premium feature. Huge screen, so you want to be able to reach that easily, and you can do that. All right, so this whole setup looks more premium, it's more functional, and for me, it's worth the price. Now, again, price is subjective, and you can get a used 2024, 2023 at a fraction of the cost, right? But I think if you're gonna go try to find a hardware 4 one, right? So having this huge screen, having the 2 screens make it a better experience. You have the option of getting a yoke or a giant. It's big, traditional steering wheel, and I prefer this. And I'll have a video coming out comparing a yoke to this. So if you want to wait around for that, I can help you make that decision. But probably the worst part about the Model X to me, these, I don't even want to call them buttons, right? Because these are not your traditional button, like this is a button, right? Actually physically clickable. These, like your cell phone screen, has a haptic feedback vibration motor. So you're not actually pressing anything in. It's telling you with the vibration that you selected it. And I don't like it because sometimes, look, I felt a little feedback right there, but nothing happened. So it's a stronger feedback. And to me, I know it may seem more premium having that. It may seem like it, but I don't like it. I want actual clickable. And they've done it on the 3, the Y, and the Cybertruck. But to me, I prefer the clickable buttons. And this is the worst part because while you're driving, right, you don't want to look down. You want to be able to know that you selected the turn signal. You want to know that for sure. Like I said, you know, you put a little more pressure and there's no real resistance there. So it's kind of weird. But other than that, I mean, and that goes for all the buttons. Like this is an actual button, right? It's clicking in, clicking out. But the driving experience in here is top notch. All right, it's a great experience. It's such a nice, comfortable ride. You have your wireless chargers here that I haven't put my charger up here yet. Almost because I feel like it's going to be too cluttered with the 2 screens. But I prefer having a charger up here, wireless charger. Maybe I'll put it up here at the top. I haven't figured it out yet. But these wireless chargers aren't the best. Again, my phone does get hot. Tesla needs to do something. I actually heard they are fixing these. They have an actual component they can switch out to make them not overheat. But again, I don't care too much for these wireless chargers. And when my phone gets hot, I just flip it over, you know, which is weird. But that's probably the next worst thing. So we have our controls down here in case you need to in an emergency, change the gears. And, you know, I never use that. And in the 22, I had a 22 before, and I kept accidentally, no, I had a 2021 Model S. I kept accidentally hitting this when I put my phone down. These aren't as sensitive. So the later models, they've improved that where it's not as sensitive. But you spend most of your time here driving, so you want this experience to be great. And I know I love the huge screen, and I know I love the 2 screens, but the Model S has that. So what makes this better than the Model S as far as the driving experience? One, yes, we're higher, but the number one thing is this huge panoramic windshield. Look at that. Now, there's negatives to everything. You could say, well, if it cracks and it breaks, it's going to be expensive to fix. Yep. But anything expensive and nice quality is expensive to fix. I mean, I have it in my insurance, so I'm not tripping, but obviously I don't want that to happen. But I highly recommend that. Just like I highly recommend you get a uninsured motorist coverage in your insurance, because that happened to me. I got hit by somebody that was uninsured and that I was taken care of, no problem. But anyway, this huge windshield, and you see it has like a little fade right here. It gets a little darker here. But again, I highly recommend you get this tinted because it's a huge glass, obviously. There's lots of sun coming in. Even if front windshield tint is illegal in your area, you can get a 70%. Some tints offer 80% where you can't even tell it's on there, right? But you still get that heat rejection. You get that UV and IR protection, and it's definitely worth it. It's going to be expensive because it's a huge piece of glass and it's hard to do around this in this whole area, but it's worth it. But this makes it a completely different experience. While you're driving, you see all of the sky, right? It's dope, dope, dope. You see all of, look at that, right? Look at me. Come on, man. Come on, man. So that might even be my thumbnail because that's so crazy. But the driving experience is top notch. These seats, super comfortable. And I went with the cream interior. I don't regret it. I did use the Gion leather protectant on it. And I put it in my white, I used it on my white interior in my Model 3 too. And just extra protection to keep it cleaner. And some people say you don't need it, but I don't know, why not, right? I have kids and I wear jeans sometimes. But these are held up really well in 6 months. Very nice, very comfortable seats. And I put it all along here too because my elbows be dirty after hooping, after working out. So I want to make sure it's all clean. And the stalkless driving is not a problem at all. I know the new Model Y brought the new stalks in. It's not a problem at all. All right, the buttons here nice and clickable. Everything feels good. The wood feels good still. I will say that in my loaner, the wood is starting to crack a little bit, and I don't know if it was always like that or if it was like this at first and then it started to fall apart. But if that's the case, I might want to put some wood-like protection on it. I just thought about that, and that's something that I want to monitor. The wood on my previous 2020 Model X held up very well over all the years, so I would think it's the same, but of course this is shaped differently. But after 6 months, it feels perfect. It feels the same. Now, if you get a plaid or if you go with the carbon fiber interior, you don't have to worry about the wood. But we like the wood classy look, so it does look cool. Also, people always talk about these sun visors, which are kind of weird. But to have this huge windshield experience, that's something that you have to kind of deal with. And for the most part, like I said, this part is shaded. And for the most part, this protects your line of sight. The only time this sun visor is not sufficient is when you need to protect your eyes from the sun coming from the side, because look at this, right? You can't have it protect right here. So that's the worst part about that. But honestly, it hasn't gotten to the point for me where I'm like, oh, that's terrible. So while we're in here, you have plenty of functions on the screen. My screen is super zippy, responsive. I like how you can move things around, right? If I want to bring the music over there, I could do that. There's still a limit on what you can do and move, and what you can move around and change. So, that's something to think about. But I like having my music here because when my steering wheel blocks a part of it and I want to see who's coming up next. See, if I'm driving here, it's kind of blocked a little bit, and I don't like that. Let's keep it like that. And then I like having this big map. In my 2020, I had a long screen vertical, which was great for map viewing, but also having all this real estate for the maps is great. Of course, with hardware 4, if I put it in park, you have all these services. And the only one I really use is YouTube. I mean, we have Netflix, but I don't really use it in the car. I use YouTube, and I play a lot of games, and I watch a lot of movies. So just to show you what that's like on this huge screen, if I go to YouTube, and it loads pretty fast enough. Of course, it depends on your area and your service. It's actually playing, and you have all this room on the side to look at other videos and things of that nature. And also, it's very responsive, right? And then, of course, we have the games and the internet browser. But if I click on the games, which my kids love playing in the back, like, it's all super. Look how super responsive this is, right? Love it. Look. It's hardware 4. It's phenomenal. And I love this huge screen. Another thing, you have complete control of all of the doors while you're in here. So I can open up that door for my wife. I love doing that, right? And close it, which takes, there's a motor, and it has to be a strong motor to do that. And you can't have problems with those motors. That's what one knock, but in 6 months, no issues at all. You can open that Falcon Wing door, which is a killer feature for Teslas, just like that. If you have kids, you have younger kids, or if you have elderly people, or anyone, you don't have to worry about them banging your car door. And of course, you can close it. Now, I did have a problem with my Falcon Wing door. It wouldn't close all the way. This one right here, and it happened when it was hot. So look at that. It goes up no problem now, and it closes pretty easy. I took it in the service center. They were able to replicate the issue, and they fixed it. They said it's a common issue, and I'll talk about that when I get outside. But you have complete control of all of the doors. The trunk, you can raise that up, right? You can close it. You can unlatch the frunk, but it's not powered. You have to press it and manually lift it and close it. But everything else is pretty nice, It's like a Model S with door controls. So let's go ahead. This is the in-cabin experience, which is second to none. But let's go look at outside. I did ceramic coat it myself, so I don't know how great that is. I did put a front PPF on. I didn't do this myself, but I had a front PPF put on it to protect it because it's my baby. It's my most expensive vehicle. So I want to make sure, the rock chips, the headlights stay clear and looking nice, not yellowing. I want to protect this the best that I could, especially that beautiful red color. But it has that iconic Tesla look that, I love, and I love the style of it. Some people think the Model X needs a style refresh, and I like it looking the way it does. Again, I like to compare it to the G-Wagon, right? The G-Wagon had the same look for years and years and years, and it's an iconic look. This Model X has an iconic look. It's a beautiful vehicle. The Model Y does look similar, but of course, if you're gonna model the look of your vehicle off of something, you're gonna do it off of something beautiful like this. But again, style is subjective. But look at that, right? It's held up well. Some people used to complain about the paint. We haven't had issues with the paint, but again, I put a ceramic coating on it, so I don't really know. So everybody is aware of the automatic doors. And again, if you're not aware of it, they have been working flawlessly. You walk up to it and the door opens for you, just like that, right? If your hands are full or not, premium feature. The only Tesla that does that. If there's, like in my garage, I have a wall right here, it doesn't open all the way. And then you can do it. You can hold it, of course. You can control it with your hands, of course, right? But it has to have a strong motor. Multiple ways of closing it. Once you sit down, you can depress the brake and it'll close. You can press this, I hate calling it button. You can press that thing and it closes. Premium features, right? This Falcon Wing door. I have a whole video dedicated to the Falcon Wing doors and their functionality. Look at that double hinge setup. And look at that. I was close to it and it opened. I have a video showing how close I was, 13 inches away from another vehicle, and it opened most of the way. If it ever stops for whatever reason, you can set how high it opens in certain locations, like in my garage. The sensors on the top, it doesn't open all the way. It can sense the top of my garage there, and it opens up high enough for everybody to get in still. And you can set the location of how high, just like you can with the trunk. The issue is, I guess when the Falcon Wing door is closing, it rub against somewhere around here, especially on the slope, and it would have issues. And they fixed it. I don't know what he did. He fixed it, and I haven't had an issue yet. Hot days, it doesn't matter. So again, when you have more moving parts, things can happen. And probably the worst part is I did take it to one service center, and when I tried to do it, it didn't happen every time. When I tried to do it in front of them, it didn't work. And I told him, I said, I have the same issue on my other Model X. He's like, sorry, we need to see it. I'm like, man, that's a waste of my time, right? So I took it to the other service center that I took my previous one to, and I explained to him everything. And I said, hey, man, I don't want to have the same issue I had with my first Model X, and I'm starting to have it. So homeboy went out, tested it out, bam, he saw the issue, and he knew about the issue. The one thing I will say about the service center is, just like, you know, your traditional car manufacturers, you're gonna have some workers there who are really good and some who aren't, some who really knows their things, they've done their research, and some who haven't. And he said, oh, I'm familiar. He told me what the problem was. He saw it. He said, we'll take care of it, and I haven't had any issues yet. So just something to think about. If you do get a Model X, you may have that issue with your Falcon Wing door. And you might have to tell them, hey, here's the problem. It rubs up against this. I don't know if it's misaligned or what. And don't take no for an answer, and they should fix it. That is something you don't want to deal with on a $100,000 vehicle, right? On a $90,000 vehicle, but that's the cost of it, right? My wife will wear high heels, and, you know, she's in pain. And she's like, but, you know, it's worth it, because she likes the way it looks, she likes the way it feels, and she likes the way it makes her feel. Same thing with these, right? It's a little bit of, you know, it's not 100% rosy experience. Sometimes, hey, you got to deal with it a little bit, and hopefully it's fixed. If I do have more problems with it, definitely, you know, I'm gonna let y'all know. So that's that. I did get the 6-seater this time. I had a 7-seater, and I actually have a comparison video coming for that too. A 6 versus 7-seater, and you might be surprised with what I say and do there. But here with the 6-seater, man, I still got the plastic down there. I keep wanting to remove that. I haven't done it yet. But I have kids, that's why you see like straws back here. I have some jeans back here. I have some shoes back here, because, you know, when they go to practice, they swap out of their clothes. But anyway, the 6-seater is my preferred. Of course, it's more expensive at $6,500, but the 6-seater has worked out nicely for my 3 boys. 2 of them are 12 years old, and my oldest is 15. And there's 2 ways you can get to the back. Obviously, you can climb through and hit the back. And that's the way they like to do it, because they're kids, they like to climb. But the best way, and especially for older people or adults, and you can't fit back there, I don't care what people say, you can't fit. And I wait till that next video, I'll show you the whole setup. But look, you press this button, and you see where my driver's seat is. I'm not in there, right? So nobody's sitting there. You press this button, they both move forward. They both move forward. Look at that. And now you can easily get in the back seat. You can climb back here in adults easily, right? And oh, look at that little hook. I didn't even know I have these back here. Look at the little hanger hooks. Cool, cool, cool. So, oh, it's broke. That's why I didn't know. My son must have broke it. Do I put in a service request for this? Look at this one. Got another one right here. That won't work. I'm about to tell him, like, hey, look, it's hanging down. Because you know what's going to happen, right? The kid's going to break that. But, oh, heck no. Hey. So, sitting back here, there's plenty of room. Look at this. And what I do like about back here is, I think for a 6-seater, really 1 adult can sit back here, not 2, because it's just too tight. This is all big, right? This is all big. And 2 kids can fit back here. But look at my legs. I can put I can have one leg with all this space in between. My other leg is tighter, but one leg can fit right here, and I think in an adult. And it's weird because in a 7-seater, I can have 2 adults fit in the back. And again, that video is coming. But for the 6-seater, 1 adult in the back. Well, I'm a bigger dude. If you have slimmer adults, they can fit back here. But I'm glad we went with the 6-seater because we have a family of 5. I have 3 boys. So this is perfect for them. But it works out. But again, you know, that's something to think about. It's not much room in the back. One person. If it was just me back here only, I can go on a long ride, no problem. Right, I can move my feet to the middle, around. I can get really comfortable back here. The seat is comfortable enough for me to be in it. There are cup holders back here, and I'm comfortable enough back here for a long ride to Vegas or something like that. But definitely for kids. But like I said, or you can just climb out. Let me see if that's easy for me. I don't even know. I'm gonna put the seat back and look, both move back. All right, let me see if that's easy for me to do. If I want to climb out. Oh, hey, no. Nah. Nope. That ain't my preferred way of getting back there. So you see, that's a really cool function. These center seats have held up well, these captain seats. And my boys are rough. They sit back here and they play on this screen, the monitor. And these seats are comfortable, but I will say, with the 5-seater, the bench seat in the middle, you have a little more side-to-side lateral movement. When this closes on you, it's a little tight, right? It's a little tight for me in this captain seats, but again, bigger dude. But overall, you can lean to the outside. But after 6 months, this is held up very, very well, and I'm glad we went with the 6-seater. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. The buttons, nice Alcantara up here. Very premium Model X look and feel. And it's just a beautiful vehicle. Look at that. Cup holders in the very back, like I said, 2 of them. And then in the second row, you have 2 cup holders right here. And 2 USB-Cs to, you know, charge whatever you need to charge. But overall, it's a great, great vehicle. And I love driving this and I love riding in it. I'm gonna ask my kids, like, which car do you like taking and driving? I have a 900-mile road trip coming up. And I'm trying to decide between taking this, the Model 3 or the Cybertruck. But I wonder what the kids are gonna say. But overall, it's a nice experience. We didn't talk about this center space that I use. So right here we have this very deep area that I have nothing in. What's that, lotion? Got some lotion in there. I got a controller in there, you know, that we play. But right here we have this lower tray where I keep my coins and things like that. And of course the cup holders are right here. And also right here, I have another storage space. These we have our little water bottle holder here. I have water right here. Right, I have tissue right here. And of course the glove. I gotta show you the glove on the screen. There it is. Not the biggest, but bigger than the 3 and the Y. So, you know, you have your registration and stuff in there. But overall, it's a great experience. I almost forgot to talk about the audio because when you're in here, man, the Model Y had great audio. The Cybertruck has great audio. The Model X has great audio. I mean, I'd be bumping, right? And it sounds clear, bassy, depending on what kind of music you listen to. You can, of course, set up the EQ. Let's go in there now, take a look. And if you're not familiar with Tesla at all, I keep saying I should do a video on just like the Tesla software for people who never experienced it, because it is very different than other things. So they got Spotify, they got Amazon Music, YouTube Music, TuneIn, Apple Music is my preferred one. But with the Apple Music, and again, no service over here really, you can set your EQ, you know, sub, bass. Don't judge me, you know what I mean? I like to hear the thump, I like to hear the beat. And, you know, the tone, the balance, of course, different options. You can limit explicit content, which is cool. You can control it from your app, right? And look, I mean, Tidal. I don't use Tidal or Spotify. but Apple Podcasts. I mean, it's pretty cool and it sounds good, man. I think if you test drive a Model X, don't be shy. Turn up that music, set your EQ, and get it to where you like to hear it. And I'm telling you, I think you'll appreciate it too. So they've done a lot of things in here to really refine it, to make it, help it be the best vehicle. Like I said, we're taking a road trip. So I am thinking about, the storage space, because when you have a 6 or 7 seater, you don't have as much room in the back for storage. You have this under storage where you see I got basketballs and shoes and all that stuff that I use on a regular day-to-day basis. But you want to put your storage here. I mean, your suitcases here, your luggage here. And the only problem is, and we've taken 7 people in our 7-seater, and we had enough storage for all of our luggage. Yeah, we had to be mindful of it. But you see the back here, how it curves. So your luggage in right here can't be too big, can't be too high. What I usually do is I open this up and I have the luggage like standing up. So I could fit 2 suitcases here. And then, I guess in the 6-seater, I guess something could fit in the middle. I don't know. But then, the other thing is the Frunk. And I wish it had a powered Frunk. I don't know why they don't do it. I kind of have my reasons why I think. But it's all speculation. So when you come to the front trunk, so I'll open it up. And look, we got plenty of space in here for luggage too. So I'm not worried about that, but you do have to be mindful of what you take. But this is a huge front area. The only reason I don't use it as much is because it's not powered, right? And it's not the biggest thing in the world, but I have to take my phone out, pop, pop, pop. Or if my wife's in a car while I'm coming, I'll ask her to open the front just to be a little more, because if your hands are full, you got to put something down and then do it, right? And things like that. So it's just one of those things. And the Frunk doesn't unlatch if you stand by it. Like if you go to the trunk, it'll beep 3 times and then it'll open for you. So they should, I don't know, it's just one of those things. But here's what I really love. Now watch this. Here's gonna be a super dope feature that I use all the time. All the time. Okay, so you have everything open for whatever reason. And instead of closing each individual thing, you see this, it says close all. Watch this, I'm gonna get out the way. Watch this, I'm pressing fast, move. Look at that. Everything closed. But look at that huge windshield for the front. Beautiful. Yeah, so hey, like I said, it drives like a dream. It's super fast. Talking about the driving experience, people say that the Model 3 and Model Y have the best full self-driving experience. I will disagree with that, and I will say the Model X is comparable. The hardware for Model X with full self-driving is a great experience. While driving, this is not the Plaid, but you put it in insane mode and also drag strip mode, and it shows you how to launch it. And when do you use this? Only when you're trying to show off to people. Steering weight, you can control that. So I take it off of, oh man, if I just showed you drag strip mode, let me just show you. I'm not gonna do it. I'm put my seatbelt on, but man, I never use this. So you put your foot on the brake and then both pedals depressed and it's preparing for launch, and then you would go, right? So it's pretty cool, but I don't even keep it in insane. I keep it in sport. A lot of people I know keep it in chill. But I keep it in sport. That's fast enough for me. I ain't trying to ruin my tires. Insane is super fast, super fun. But this is a fun vehicle to drive, even though it's not the Plaid. This is faster than what most people need, but it's fun to drive. It's my favorite, and that red killed it for me. Once I got the red, I was like, oh man, that was it. Game changer. Best Tesla. Of course, it's not for everybody, but it might be for you. So honestly, try to get hardware for it if you can. If you want to get the new ones, I mean, those are of course better. But you can find a 2025, a 2024 used for a little bit less. You might want to do that. Look in the inventory. You might want to do that. That front camera would be cool but it's not really necessary. The interior lighting is cool, but I like the way this one looks too. But also, I could be biased. But I don't think you need to wait. If you're looking at Model X's, it's a great vehicle. I think you're gonna love it. Hey, hopefully I helped you decide on whether or not this vehicle is for you. After 6 months, it's held up really well, and I think I made the right choice. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, Cobra told you. All right, y'all.